After 6 years of development and 2 delays, Outriders is finally here. The third-person looter shooter is a brand new IP published by Square Enix and developed by People Can Fly, the same studio that created Painkiller, Bulletstorm, and Gears of War Judgment. But before you get your hands on the game, let's cover some things you should know. I'm JANESSA CHRISTINE, and this is All In. Outriders begins with a grim science fiction plot set in the near future. Something terrible has happened on Earth, so in order to save the human race, 2 colony ships were deployed to Enoch, the most suitable planet where humanity could survive. Of course, things did not go as planned. The other colony ship blows up, the ship that survived lost communication with Earth during their 83-year spaceflight, and it becomes clear that Enoch might not be as well suited for humans as initially thought. You'll play as an Outrider, an expedition party made up of mercenaries to explore the planet. While on a mission to recover a missing data probe, you encounter the Anomaly, an energy storm that infects and kills most of your group. But for some reason, you survive and are given a second chance at life with some pretty neat supernatural powers. Before we get into the powers, let's talk a little bit about how the game plays. Outriders is a third-person shooter where you'll find yourself surrounded by swarms of enemies. You'll be able to run, take cover, and shoot a variety of guns at bullet sponge enemies in a way that feels reminiscent of Division. But this is a game where aggressive and upfront combat is rewarded. After all, it's a kill-or-be-killed world out there, so you'll need to hurt enemies in order to heal yourself. So while you can sit back and cover, it isn't going to do much for you in the long run. As the difficulty increases, you'll need to rely on your class abilities more than your weapons. When you create your character, you'll choose between 4 unique classes: Pyromancer, Trickster, Devastator, and Technomancer, each offering different epic abilities for you to use in battle. Pyromancer is your medium-range conjurer that can control fire. Use Heatwave to unleash a fiery path of destruction, pull an enemy towards you to drain its health, or turn a bad guy into a thermal bomb. The Trickster is a close-range class that bends the laws of space-time, designed to hit and run foes before blinking away. Its temporal blade can slow and interrupt enemies, the slow trap can slow enemies in a bubble for 10 seconds, and they can teleport behind enemies to receive a shield bonus. Devastator is your close-range tank, meant to lead the way and defend your group. Release an earthquake in front of you, cover your body in rocks to prevent 65% damage, and fly into the air and back down again to hurt foes from above. You can also channel your inner Neo by reflecting bullets. Lastly, there is the Technomancer. This is your long-range support class. You'll get a 15% damage bonus on long-range weapons, throw proximity bombs, place an automated turret to distract and freeze enemies, and generate a wave of energy to heal your teammates. Now, normally, you'll never find me playing a support class in any game, but I really liked the Technomancer. Whichever class you choose, there are a lot more abilities to unlock as well as a skill tree to master. When you level up, you'll be able to spend class points to unlock perks and refine your playstyle. There are even these subclasses that kind of guide your skill tree into 3 branches, but you don't have to follow these if you don't want to. And if you want to switch it up, you can reset your skill tree and try out a different build until you have the perfect combo. While it's perfectly possible to play Outriders on your own, the game supports 2- and 3-player teams that can drop in and out of the campaign at any time. What is really cool is if you're attempting to join a friend who's a bit ahead of you in the story, the game will warn you so you don't see any spoilers. If your friends are on a different console, that's okay too. Outriders supports crossplay between all versions of the game. And if you don't have any friends to play with, I feel for you, and so does the game, which is why it includes a matchmaking feature. When a new IP comes out, it's hard not to compare it to other games, but in a way, that can be the easiest way to explain how a game feels based on something we already know. Now, Outriders feels like a lot of games. The Division's smooth cover system, Destiny's classes and elemental abilities, Gears of War gunplay and brutality all mixed into a big pot with some remnant from the ashes sprinkled on top. If you enjoyed any of those games, I think you're gonna have a fun time when Outriders releases on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Xbox One, and PS4 on April 1st. I hope you enjoyed this episode of All In. I'm JANESSA CHRISTINE, and thanks for watching.